Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today on Cook and Bake with Samir. I am going to be making tonight a Lebanese Middle Eastern dish, but I'm going to do it really the Lebanese Beiruti style. There are differences. There are different recipes for this. It's called Maghmoor, and I know my Middle Eastern and Lebanese friends probably would want me to do this in Arabic. So in case they need to do it. This is a dish that I've had since I was young. It's called maghmour, and also there's a word for it. It's called msa'a, which means cold. But to be honest with you, my entire life when I was in Lebanon, and we never ate it cold. Mainly, we were eating it warm. We eat it with the bread, with the pita bread, and the ingredients what we're using is eggplants. I have 3 eggplants, about 3 pounds. I'm sorry, about 2.2 pounds of, it's 1 kilo, 2.2 pounds of eggplants. I'm using 3 eggplants, not 3 pounds, 3 eggplants. And what we're going to do is cut them in a particular way. I'm going to salt them and fry them. We'll go through what I'm going to be doing. We'll go through the ingredients. I already cut up one, and I'll show you what we're going to do here very quickly. We're going to be cutting the ends of the eggplants, and I'm going to use the potato peeler, and sorry, I'm not going to be peeling the whole thing. We're still going to be leaving lines in there. It's really you can even leave most of the lines in, but I'm going to leave that much. And how I'm going to cut it, I'm going to cut it in half first, because depending on the thickness of the eggplant, I'll show you the thickness we're going to use. And we're going to have this one. The peel didn't want to go through. There we go. I didn't want to I don't want the knife to slip. That's why I was trying to be careful. Sorry, trying to here. Make sure you see. So we don't want the eggplant to be too thin or too thick. You can see it's almost like a triangle, the way I have it cut. It's a very tasty dish, and this one I see it's a little too big. I'm going to do another knife through it. Even if I didn't, it's not going to hurt it. It'll end up cooking well. I'm going to fry them, but also uh, you can bake them. What you would do is you would, after the first step, you would take olive oil or vegetable oil and kind of rub them. And when you do that, then you can bake them, or so if you don't want to fry them. This is a very tasty vegetarian dish. So our vegetarian friends, or even if you like to eat lots of vegetarian dishes, I'm one of them. uh, this is a very, very good dish to have and eat. I'll do one more on this side. There we go. See, it looks beautiful. We see the zucchinis out there. What do you do with them? You know. So here's a dish that we can do. I want to cut it one more this way. There we go. It's hard to cut through the peel. The knife wants to slice off of it. So again, you see there. I'll finish these quickly. Doesn't want to go here. There we go. All right, so now I have all the eggplants here. What am I going to do? Eggplants hold water in them. They have water. So how do we get rid of the water? How do we help the eggplant to get rid of the water? What I'm going to do is sprinkle some salt here. So probably about a total of 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt I just want to mix them in the salt. Okay. Back in Lebanon, in the mountains or in Beirut, they do this and then they put them on a tray and put them like on the balcony or outside on the patio in the sun, put them for about 10, 15 minutes to have that water evaporate before they fry them. Because if you don't do that, when you fry them, the eggplant itself will absorb all that or the oil, and then you eat it and it'll just be really soggy with oil. So what I have here, I have um, I have a pan, and then I have usually use it for baking. So I'm going to just line them up here, and I'm going to let them rest and try to evaporate some of their water for about. I'm going to also do it for about 15 minutes. I'm not going to put them out in the sun for 15 minutes, but I'm going to do it here in the house. So there we go. Yeah, if this was going to be in the sun, they lay them out good. They make sure they're out like this. Okay, so I'll finish these and then I'll get back with you of our next ingredients and next steps for this delicious Middle Eastern and Beiruti style recipe for the Maghmoor. You gotta know how to say it. Okay, the next ingredients in this step is going to be our onions. I'll show you in a minute how I cut up this onion. Really, the onion was a whole onion. I cut one side, which is this side here. So we're gonna have two medium-sized onions. So I cut it from here, and then I put it down, and I took one cut this way, this way. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm leaving this side on, and I'm going to go as much as I can to here. Okay, this is one of those from it, and that's it. And then we're going to go into thin slices here. We're going to just, it's simple. It's not, we don't have to go, we don't have to make them too small for this dish. We don't have to dice them. So we're mainly kind of chiffing the onion, if I don't know if that's the correct term there we go. See? It's simple. We'll do the next one here for you. Again, I took the onion, I cut the top, I peeled it, put it this way, cut it in the middle. It might even be easier for you. Cut it in the middle first and then peel it. And then do what I'm doing. Take one cut here in the middle, all the way there, and there we go. Okay, and then after we're done with the onions, we will work on the tomatoes. We're going to peel our tomatoes. We're going to be using about 5 medium-sized heads of tomatoes for this dish. I'm also going to be using 7 cloves, depending on the sizes, you'll see, about medium to smaller size cloves of garlic that I'm going to cut them very small like I do with the green beans. So that way the flavor will stay there in every bite that you take. Okay, we'll be back. Look at the onions here, beautifully cut here. They're all like into little pieces like this, a little bigger, a little smaller. Trust me, these won't hurt. This is good. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to fry them a little bit later in a quarter cup of olive oil, by the way, as well. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to start working on the garlic. As I mentioned, it's about 7 medium size, smaller to medium size. But as you know, The head of garlic isn't equal. So this is life. But look, I have like five of them here. They're different sizes. And I purposely wanted to show you because you will run into this. And again, with this dish, if you had more garlic, a little less garlic, it's not going to hurt. More garlic definitely won't hurt at all. And I wanted to show you, I know you've seen me before, but what's one of the easiest way? I know there are ones that go, this with it, okay? To say, okay, you can peel it like this, but look what happens. I don't like it because it gets smushed and now I can't cut it very well. It's already leaking on my fingers and stuff, and I want it to stay drier. So here's another uh, big one, or even a small one. There we go. See, just twist it like this, and it's peeled. Look, see how easy it is. The first one, just the peels wanted to stick to my fingers because of the first one that I smushed it. But I just wanted to show you that. That's all. Just a quick show. So quick showing, not quick show. And it's a show also. All right. So with the garlic, I really want to cut it like I do with the green beans. That if you've seen my recipe with the Lebanese green beans. So here's the head of garlic. It's a bigger size. So I'm just going to go. Be careful with your fingers, everyone, huh? We're gonna go a little bit sideways here. This one, I think I can do two. Yep, got two. Then I'm going to go here. Let me show you this way. I like to hold it from here, but here. So we're going into, like if you're cutting an onion, trying to make it into dicing an onion. So we're technically dicing the garlic. So now I'm going to go into smaller pieces. And I purposely actually using a knife that's not, it's good. It's just not very sharp. It's a little older that way. When you're working with smaller things, you don't have to worry about cutting your fingers, even though off camera a lot sometimes I really use the big one, and but it's better to do it this way. You're going to run into some of the smaller ones. See, uh, you see these? Look at that. See how they are cut up here? Yeah, I'll keep it lower. There we go. Now I'm going to do this to the rest of the garlic and put them in here. Our dish, beautiful, tasty dish is coming together. By the way, we're also going to have a cup of chickpeas. My chickpeas are soaked overnight. I then boiled them for 40 minutes. But if you only have canned chickpeas, it's okay. Use a cup of canned chickpeas, you'll be all right. Or just use the one of the 15-ounce cans of chickpeas in this dish, you'll be okay. Because these are going to grow a little big. All right, I'll continue with my garlic and we'll come back later. I've already uh, scorched the tomatoes. Actually, the camera crew scorched them, and they are ready for me to peel. And we're gonna cut them just like really what we cut with the green beans as well. We're gonna cut them to smaller cubes, and pretty soon we'll start frying our eggplants. Our dish is coming really, really well together. We will also be using 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, half a teaspoon of dry mint, and I will have 1.5 tablespoon of salt in addition, and we will have 1.5 tablespoon of tomato paste. Our zucchinis are kind of dripping over there. Not zucchinis. Oh my God, it's not a zucchini. It's an eggplant. It's the English thing. It's the eggplant. The zucchini are the green ones. All right. See you soon. Bye bye. Our garlic is already finely chopped. And I was thinking actually also when I was doing these, if you're having a hard time trying to chop them this way, and then even if you find smaller ones, just try to slice them one slice this way and then go across them. I'm just trying to make it easier on you. So again, we've already, with these tomatoes, we already scored them, dipped them quickly in the hot water, took them out, put them in some cold water there. So cut it in half, go across. We're going to go one. Is this in the way or you're okay? I can move, okay. But we need all the juices. That's why I also have the board turned the other way. I do need the juices from the tomatoes, so to use. So we're just going to cut them into smaller cubes, as you could see here. We're going to use them. You could see there, all right. And we'll do the same thing here. And again, we have about 5 medium tomatoes, and then once we have them ready, it's time to start frying our eggplants, not zucchinis. We don't want to cook the wrong thing. We have our tomatoes finished over there, all of our ingredients that we're going to need. Now what we have next is we're going to be frying our eggplants. Some of the water has come out, but I want to show you being inside on the top, it's like it's not drying. I would either have to go like this or stand them all up like this. Probably should have done that too. But I'm going to quickly just damp them out real quick here. And to be honest with you, I could have I could have put them outside or just even stand them up. Just I guess that's another option if you wanted to, just to so you know. There we go. A lot of water came out. So I don't burn myself too much. And I put an apron on because I don't want to get my clothes oily. So I have the oil here for frying. You know, you could use a different fryer as I mentioned before. I purposely kept this part in to show you how the wet eggplants would splash if you put them in the oil if they're not dried well enough. And I'll show you what I did next. I did something off the scene. When I was putting them in there, I still didn't like there was some water in there. The oil wanted to splash out. So I took paper towels and I just went like this and put them to the side. So I would recommend to do that. They're still wet. So we're going, again, when you put them in the fryer, we're going to fry them on we're not like cooking them we're not frying them so they can be ready to eat. They're going to be like only halfway cooked to two-thirds. So each side is going to be fried about the first side, I would say 4 minutes. The second side, no more than 3. And I'm on medium. The heat is on medium. This guy does not want to turn. See, I put it down, then he wants to flip. It's like, what's going on, dude? You know? Here we go. But because they're going to cook on slow heat for 20 more minutes inside the tomato sauce and everything. So there we go. About 3 more minutes. I'm going to take these off. And in the meantime, this is what I'm going to do. Let me bring this paper towel here. I'm going to like double paper towel and put it here. I want to put the eggplants on here, try to absorb as much as possible of that oil from them, mainly just for really health reasons. And so the dish also won't be too oily. We're going to be cooking everything in a quarter cup of olive oil. I have the first couple pieces here that I put are actually ready to come out because they were in first and the oil was still, you know, as you know, when you're cooking, you start putting product in there and food is going to get cooler. And when you take them out, don't press hard. You gotta press very softly because eggplants are, I'll show you, if you press hard, they just right away, they get smushed. We don't want to do that. Here, I'll show you another one here. This has cooled off a little bit. No, it's still hot. But you could see, look, it's not hard anymore. Quickly, it becomes soft. So And as again, as I mentioned, the other thing is that you can grill them instead of frying. So, not grill them, I'm sorry, bake them or roast them. So, there we go. Okay. We'll be back after all these are done, and we'll start making our putting our dish together. See you soon. I ended up doing them in two different batches, so now our second batch is done. Remember, uh, we're frying them 4 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other. The intention isn't to fully cook them here. They're going to be slowly cooking in our beautiful, tasty tomato sauce with the garlic and the onion uh, together for about 20 minutes. They're going to simmer together for about 20 minutes. And be careful with the oil again. That's why we dried up the eggplants. We need them dry so they don't splatter all over the place and also prevents them from absorbing the oil. Uh, I want to try a piece. I don't know, even though they're still a little undercooked, but this was a little thinner one. It looks a little crispy. I can't resist. We gotta try and see. They were, as you see, they were salted a little bit, so I'm not gonna add. I don't need to add any salt on it. Mm, mm-mm. Wow. You can make little ones like this, fry them, and put them as finger food, like at a get together or something like that. Just have them there sitting, dry them up a little bit on here, and people can grab them in a little fork or a toothpick. Oh, it's so good. Here, try this one. Mm, it's crispy. Oh, yeah. It's really good. So there's another suggestion for you. By the way, in Lebanon and even here, I mean, obviously, but when we were kids, they'll cut them differently. They cut them into a round shape, thinner, and they fry them. And that's, you eat them like in a sandwich. You literally will only put garlic, olive oil with the garlic on top of it, roll them in the sandwich, and eat them with the pita bread. Or you can, some like to put tahini sauce on it, but mostly we eat them just like that with the raw garlic, not even cooked garlic. So you kind of need to brush your teeth a little bit after that. But hey, you're enjoying the food and it's healthy. I don't know about the oil, but the garlic is healthy. All right. Soon we're going to put our dish together. And I know it took some time, but it's very tasty and it's worth it. It's a, you can have it as an appetizer. You can eat it as a dinner, as a full lunch dinner. I know some just like to eat it as cold appetizer. You could do that as well. But anyway, so see you soon. This is exciting now. We're starting to put the dish together. I love it when we get to this point because it's getting close and close to eating time and I'm hungry. And so we're going to put a quarter cup of olive oil over here. So I already have the pan heated. We're not using the oil from the frying. We're going to either, whatever you like, if you need to save it, if it's not burnt, or you throw it. Save it in a glass jar or something like that. But that's a suggestion. Okay, so we have a quarter cup of olive oil over here. Sorry. Okay, and wait a few seconds here for it to warm up. Then I'm going to add the onions. As also you notice, this recipe doesn't have much herbs or spices to it. It's the flavor of the eggplant, the flavor of the onions, the tomatoes, the garlic. It just altogether it comes a very good natural tasty dish. And again, we're going to put some chickpeas in there. That gives it that extra flavor as well. So the oil is ready. Let me test it here. Excellent, excellent. Be careful again with the onions. If they were sitting and had any water in them, it's not good because you're going to splash and splatter and things like that. So there we go. But these are good. They don't have anything. They're dry. So there we go. All right, now I'm going to just make sure my onion pieces are kind of separated and stuff. You could separate them before if you're worried, but I'm also getting the oil, that tasty, beautiful olive oil all mixed in there with the onions. We're gonna let the probably about 3.5 to 4 minutes. I'm having them on medium heat right now. We're not trying to fry them. We want them to at least become translucent. So we'll see if it takes 5, if it takes 4. You know, as you know, with cooking, sometimes you do have to adjust. It's not always a sign, per second. Even the bakers, so when you're baking cake and stuff like that, they say, "Oh, do 30 minutes. Check it if it needs 5 more minutes," and things like that. So, okay, we'll be back when they're ready to add the garlic. The onions have been sauteing here for about 4 minutes. You could see some few of them wanted to become a little, and by the way, I'm still on medium heat, wanted to become a little blonde there, which is excellent. And now we are ready to add our garlic over here that we had already in here. There we go. The garlic is in there. The aroma of the onion, as you all know, uh, when we are frying or sauteing, has its special aroma. And then you add the garlic. Wow. It's just that special makes you want to eat right away. It's and the garlic again, probably as usual when we're sauteing garlic, a minute and a half max 2. But here I have a feeling maybe a minute and a half we will be good. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes because we're running it at medium heat. So let's let them wait a minute here, and we'll add our tomatoes. Our garlic have been here for about a minute and a half, sauteing with the onions. And keep mixing them too. Don't just leave them because you don't want the garlic to burn in there. So there we have our tomatoes. And I'm going to add remember I said a table and a half of salt. We used about half a table spoon of salt on the eggplant. So now we have about a table left to use. This one had more, so it wasn't like that's why you see some left in there. I purposely put in there so I could just sprinkle. So we added another table spoon of salt in here. We'll taste it anyway later, just in case we need anything. Let me mix them up real quick. Beautiful. Oh, well, even adding the tomatoes has created a special flavor and special aroma in here. Now I'm going to increase the heat a little bit because we want the whole dish to get to a boil. I'm going to just increase it slightly, a little bit more than medium, because everything's going to happen very quickly here. Uh, I'm adding my cup of chickpeas, my half a teaspoon of dried mint, and remember we needed 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and a tablespoon and a half of tomato paste. So I'm mixing them together here, kind of trying to dilute a little bit the tomato paste. I might add like 1 or 2 teaspoons of water, so just so I can dilute it. So it's kind of pre-mixed, pre-diluted before it goes in here. And honestly, even if you didn't do that, it won't hurt. It won't hurt it, but it's really the right way to do it. I'm adding just a tablespoon of water because the tomatoes themselves are just going to be sweating and I mean reducing producing all the liquids that they have there. Here we go. This is done. All right. This here. All right, here we go. Let's put our tomato paste. Oh, beautiful. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just like we want it. All right. I'm going to mix these really well before I add the eggplants in here. And again, the eggplants are not, I cooked about halfway. They're going to continue to cook here. Uh, and I want this to get to the boil before I add the eggplants in, which really it's within a minute and a half. It's already at the boil stage here. I'm just mixing it to mix the tomato paste with everything here. Oh, that looks so yummy. That looks so good. Okay, I am ready to add the eggplants in here. I'm just going to line them up and then I'll push them in. The eggplant right now it's at its delicate stage. It's very you could very easily smush it. It's not like before. See? Can you see that? See how it's very mushy right now, smushy. You know. Oh, this is again our friends that like to eat lots of vegetarian dishes or dishes without meat, not necessarily vegetarian dishes, but and our vegetarian friends or vegan friends. This is an excellent, excellent uh, dish with the eggplants. Okay, so we're going to mix them in there just so slightly, so slowly, so we can get them in there and get. Again, you gotta be careful. Don't do it. Just don't overdo it. But there, look at that. You know, I'm going to taste the saltness of the dish as well. But honestly, just from smelling, it's odd when you cook a lot and you're in there. Sometimes it's just when you're smelling the dish, you kind of feel if it needs salt or if it's okay. This is going to be so beautiful. And then I'm going to lower the heat to here. Let's use this spoon. A medium low to low, so closer to low. It all depends on how your stove is. For me, I'm looking at it. I really want low, a little bit higher than the low. So because just like remember with the eggplants, I'm sorry, remember with the green beans, we did the same thing. But this one, we're only going to cook it for 20 minutes. But here, let's taste the flavor. There's something I didn't add. Uh, Let me add it real quick. Remember, just a little sprinkle of pepper. See, that's what happens when you don't write things down. As I mentioned, it's maybe like an eighth of a. Again, I have to turn it so to mix that pepper in there. You just gotta be careful with the eggplants. But look, because we have them about halfway cooked, they stay good. Some of them want to get smushed in there, but it's okay. It'll still taste the same. It tastes good. It doesn't hurt anyone. All right. I'm glad if I forgot about the pepper, I forgot about the pepper, but uh there. All right, here we go. All right. Let me see here. Oh, really, really good. I think you should. I think the camera crew should try this flavor. I added a little tomato and some other things, but just be careful. It's still a little warm, a little hot, a little hot. There, I'm gonna make sure the chickpeas are under the sea and under the under here, so because they need to cook. You like it? It's really good, huh? All right. We'll be back in 20 minutes. We'll see how the dish is doing. We tasted it. We know it doesn't need salt. It doesn't need pepper. It doesn't need anything. It's ready to be eaten, but we want to finish the cooking. The cooking. We want to finish the. We want to finish the cooking and marination of the all these flavors to marry together and give us the wonderful taste of this dish. See you soon. It's been 20 minutes since our friends over here have been cooking, and I'm going to turn the heat off. Let's take a quick look here and see how they are looking. Oh, beautiful here, beautiful. The tomatoes, the eggplants, the chickpeas, and we will try them shortly. Let's put some in a plate here. They're very hot. I know that we need to wait a little bit before we can start tasting them. And I know some like to only eat it cold, but as I mentioned, I as I mentioned before, I don't mind eating it warm, and I actually like eating it warm. Mm. Oh, the aroma is beautiful. It's beautiful here. All right, we'll put it on the side. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll try it with a spoon, and then I'll show you, as usual, how we eat it with the pita bread. All right, see you soon. It's been sitting maybe 10 minutes or so. Uh, I'm hoping it has cooled off a little bit for us to try it. I'm going to try different things in there at different times, then we'll eat it with the pita bread together. Let's see here, just trying a chickpea and some tomatoes there with some onions. Mm. Flavor is wonderful. The chickpeas are done just right. They're not smushy, but they're not crunchy. They're very, they add to that special flavor in the Maghmoor. Let's try a piece of an eggplant here. Mm. Some tomatoes and a chickpea. The chickpea didn't want to come. There we go. You see it there? Mm. Okay. All right. Adding the eggplant to what I tasted at the beginning, it just completed that dish. There's that special flavor in there. So let's try now. As you know, with the pita bread, if you haven't seen me before, you get the whole thing, the whole round. We don't just go and eat it like this and smush it and put it in there. We split it, and we're going to take a piece. Look, I'm only taking this much of a piece of bread. I'm gonna add a little piece here, give it a little cushion. That's the purpose, seriously. There's then I'm it just the eggplants are just like cream in there. I take it with the bread, Put it like this there. We get our hands dirty. Look, my fingers are dirty. See? I mean, they're not dirty. They're tasty now with the with the marination. Mm. That takes the dish with the bread to another level. Honestly, it's so tasty that the taste of the everything together is just so beautiful. You need to try this dish. You need to subscribe. Tell your friends. Um Try it and let me know how it goes. If there are any things maybe you've tried, you added things differently that you like to add to it. But this is again, it's wonderful if you're vegan, vegetarian, you'll love it and you'll enjoy it. So again, thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a good time. And until next time, you take care and don't forget to subscribe. See you later. Bye bye.